How did I go from coaching and training athletes for 20 years to real estate? It's a question I get a lot. Like, what was that like? Honestly, it's the same job. So after 20 years of literally training athletes and coaching athletes, I decided to make the switch to real estate. I reached out to a friend and I said, hey, let's talk about it. And he said to me, he was in the real estate business. He said, it's basically the same job. I didn't actually believe him when he said it, but here we are 7 years into real estate. And I would say, yeah, it definitely feels like that same job as just different clientele. So when it comes to coaching and training the athletes, communication was always the cornerstone of everything I did, right? So building that relationship with the athlete, teaching them, explaining to them, not talking to them, right? A lot of coaches will talk to their athletes or tell their athletes. I was a big believer that when you coach athletes, you are building a relationship, which builds trust, and then you are teaching them and you're explaining things to them, whether it's strategy or technique, how you're going to accomplish something, how they need to think. You're doing that with your athletes. Well, guess what? In real estate, it's the exact same way. Buyers or sellers, I'm meeting with my client and I'm teaching them how the process goes. I'm explaining to them what to expect. I'm building this relationship with them so they trust me because I need to be able to take care of them, and we walk them through the process. So we talk about strategy just like I would with an athlete. We talk about approach. I explain to them how it works, and then I kind of guide them through the whole process. So it's pretty crazy when you look at the two similarities between the two, but it really is. Coaching is a lot of communication. Real estate is a lot of communication. And really, when it comes to that communication, whether it's with athletes for sports or whether it's with the clients for real estate, my job is to teach them enough, guide them enough, and educate them enough to make the best decisions, whether it's on the football field or whether it's buying the right house for their family. It's all about helping them make that best decision. Now, similarity number two is actually game planning and strategy. Like literally, it's pretty obvious when I was coaching football, obviously we'd have a plan for our opponent. We'd have a system that we would run. We would teach that system to our athletes and we would make sure they knew how to do it. We'd explain to them the why. So we wanted them to get the buy-in, right? Hey, this is how we do things. This is our football team's way, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what your expectations are. And again, in real estate, it's not different, right? Sit down with a buyer or a seller. Hey, this is what the market looks like. This is the market's, they're the other team is the real estate market. So this is what we need to do. This is the strategy, right? This is our plan. This is how we're going to approach the real estate part of things. So, if it's a buyer, it's like establishing what our guidelines are, and then the houses we're looking for, where we're looking for them, what to expect from those houses market-wise. If we're a seller, it's the exact same thing, right? What's the market doing? The buyers are the other team, not the enemy, the other team. What are they looking for? How are we pricing accordingly? All the things they need to know. So both aspects of my life, from before when I was doing sports to now we're doing real estate, they both require teaching strategy. Again, communicating and teaching strategy and having a plan. And the other part of that is just like in football, right? We'd have a plan. We'd go into the first half. Maybe we execute the plan great. And at halftime, we don't switch a thing. Or maybe we get punched in the face in the first half and we go into halftime. We have to look at our strategy, analyze what we're doing, make adjustments for the second half to hopefully win the game. Well, same thing in real estate. We have a plan. We're looking for this, or we're selling it, and this is our strategy. In that first half, we put it out there. Well, maybe nothing happens. We don't find the home we want, or we don't get the home sold that we're trying to sell. So we go to halftime. We look at our strategy. Again, buyer or seller, doesn't matter. What's our strategy? And then we go to the second half, we make that adjustment. If you're a buyer, maybe you have to find more money, or you have to change the location you're looking for, or maybe you have to lower your expectations. And if you're a seller, maybe you have to lower your price. Maybe there's something at the house that wasn't quite done that you're going to have to actually do. That's the plan when you're doing either side. So again, similarities are amazing to me. I actually love the type of similarities. Hey, do me a favor. Do you have a job that you used to have and you have a different job now, but there's similarities? I'd love to hear about that down in the comments. Now, trust and relationship is probably the third part of this equation. And the reality is, and there's lots of coaches who don't do this, right? There's lots of coaches who just yell, tell their players what to do, run their teams like they're the dictator. That's a horrible strategy. But unfortunately, it's prevalent in sports. I think that's a horrible strategy. The best coaches build relationship and trust with their players, and they do it by outlining expectations, by being transparent and authentic with them, and by encouraging and building them up. You can hold them accountable, right? You can have expectations, but don't treat them like your servants. Treat them like value family members. And so that's how I look at coaching. Coaching was all about, I never had to yell at a player. I mean, I could talk intensely to a player on the sideline. If they messed up on something they were expected to do, we could have that conversation, right? That's sports. That's understandable. Well, there is a similarity to that with clients, right? Not that I'm going to yell at a client. No one should ever yell at a client, right? But you want to create the expectations with your client. You want to have that relationship where they trust you. There's a thing, know, like, and trust. So you get to know your clients, you build a relationship, you hopefully like them and they like you, obviously, that'd be nice. And then that establishes trust. So then you can teach them and explain to them how the market is, whether they're buyers or sellers. Make sure, I know I keep saying that, but it's super important. It doesn't matter which side of that equation you're on, it's the same thing. Know, like, and trust. And that gives you the ability to actually execute your plan and have success, because real estate, just like sports, is challenging. So if your clients, just like if your players, if they know, like, and trust you, it makes the whole situation a lot smoother. Now, one big difference is if a player is not executing and he's on your football team, right? You can bench him. I mean, you can take that player and say, hey, we've had the talks, I've done this, we've tried this, it's not working. And sometimes it's just situational, but you can bench them. You can't bench your clients. I mean, I guess you can fire your clients. They can fire you. But the reality is you can't really bench your clients. So you build that know, like, and trust. You build that relationship. And then what you can do is in tougher situations, right? And definitely in this market right now that we're in, there are some tougher situations. You can circle back, have a conversation about what's going on, what's not working, harken back to the strategy thing we were talking about, and you can reevaluate and move forward. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. I mean, literally. I talked about in another video, right? You try to sell a home or buy a home. There's three things. What are they? Location, condition, price. Well, if you've had the conversation and you know, like, and trust each other, you can circle back with that client, and you're not going to bench them, but you can circle back and revisit the location, condition, price conversation and discuss, how you might move forward from there. Look, at the end of the day, coaching and training athletes and real estate are about the same thing. Helping someone accomplish a goal that they can't accomplish on their own without a guide. In coaching, obviously, it's playing the sports for success. And in real estate, it's either buying or selling the property that you're looking to buy or sell. I did the training for 20 years with athletes, had lots of great relationships, had lots of successes, learned a ton. And now for the last 7, I've been doing the exact same thing with buyers and sellers. And if I'm being honest, I do them for the exact same reason. It is such an awesome feeling to help someone win. Whether I'm helping them win in the sport they play, or whether I'm helping them win in accomplishing their goal of buying or selling their home. That is why I do what I do, and that's why I did what I used to do. I love that, and it means the world to me to be part of people's process. My job is simple. It's to give the truth, to build the relationship, to guide the process so that my clients, or like back in the day, my athletes, can make the best decisions possible for them. In this case of real estate, make the best possible decision for them and their family. Obviously, back in the sports days, make the best decision to be successful with the team. That's it. My name is Jeff Miller with Greater Than Awesome Real Estate Group, and please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is down below. I'd be happy to help you with any buying or selling you might need, or just answer questions about the Round Rock and Greater Central Texas market. All right, y'all take care.